Unless you're a student or you work in education, summer doesn't always mean summer vacation. A lot of us need to go to work still, and not all of us work in an office. These are my top 10 summer work fragrances for those of us that don't wear a suit and tie. We all have made different career choices, different career paths, and a lot of us, we don't work in an office. I know I don't. I'm a blue-collar guy myself, so although I do love my office fragrances, because I work outside and I work in open environments a lot of the time, an office fragrance isn't exactly suited to my work style. And I think that's the same for a lot of you guys out there. So these are my top 10 summer blue-collar work fragrances. Colognes for guys that don't work in an office. At the number 10 spot, we have Versace Pour Homme. This is a fragrance by Versace, which is very clean, very soapy, fresh out the shower type of feel. There is some citrus in it as well, but it is simply a clean fragrance. Versace Pour Homme is an extremely safe fragrance, which is why I put it on the list. It's also a fragrance that I wear to the gym, so it's a really great choice for the guys that maybe go to the gym before they go to work. It's a great fragrance for that, but even at work. It's light, clean, and soapy. And although on my skin it doesn't really have the greatest longevity, its projection is pretty respectable in the beginning, which could be great in your work environment. Especially if you're working hard and your skin heats up. That fragrance will perform even better. Now, if you've tried that fragrance and it really hasn't performed well on you, I suggest you try Allure Homme Sport by Chanel. It's more expensive, it's a little more creamy and sweet, but it performs better. So give it a shot. Number 9 is Armani Code Ice. This is a fragrance that came out a few years ago. It's a flanker of Armani Code, clearly. Why it's called Ice is because it has a fresh quality to it with added mint and even some ginger as well. Really, the DNA is all there. While Armani Code Sport was a little more citrus-based and maybe a bit more fleeting than this one, Armani Code Ice has respectable performance. And if you work outdoors or in the trades, it's a fragrance that will last you the day, will get compliments as well, so you get a little ego boost on the job, and it has that youthful Armani touch, perfect for those that are still young at heart, or actually young. If you're struggling to find Armani Code Ice, you can still pick up Armani Code Colonia, maybe. Armani Code A-List is also a bit more wearable, but it still retains a lot of the original. Number 8, we have Cryptomint by Mugler. Cryptomint is the mint flanker to Amen, which was a patchouli monster performing fragrance. But Mugler's fresh take on patchouli gives it a sweet, likable green quality. And when combined with mint, you get sort of a mint chocolate feel to it. Very enjoyable and very good performance, like a lot of these fragrances. Cryptomint is one that I've talked about at length, so I won't go into too much detail on it. If you haven't seen my summer Mugler video, I'll leave it up in the cards up top. I go into a little more detail on the fresh, summery Mugler fragrances. At number 7, we have Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme Libre. L'Homme Libre is a fragrance that I don't talk about a whole lot because L'Homme Ultime is my absolute favorite fragrance from that house. But I feel, especially in the blue-collar trades type of field, L'Homme Libre works really well. It sort of smells like YSL's answer to Fahrenheit, and that's because the added note that makes it unique is violet leaf. Violet leaf is great because it smells masculine even though it's floral, but still has a certain elegance to it, and it performs a lot better than the original based on my experience. It's just really hard to find. That's why it's not any higher on this list. At number 6, we have one of my favorites, Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch. Another fragrance that I do talk about too much, but it had to be on this list because Fierce is one that I will regularly wear on the job. When times get tough and you have irritable customers, Fierce will always put me in a better mood. It'll cheer me up for the nostalgia factor. It's so much fun to wear, and it performs very well for a fresh fragrance. Are you done playing? Good. Fierce is great because even though it's fresh, it's not a citrus fragrance or an aquatic or a blue fragrance. It's green, like my surroundings. Fresh green fragrances are rare. They don't happen every day. So to have one that's this likable, that lasts that long, it's a gem. Totally a gem. Definitely at number 6 though, because not every working guy is gonna want to smell like a teenage boy. But I do, I wear it a lot. Don't hate. There is also a cheaper alternative by Mont Blanc. A lot of people like it. I don't think it performs as well personally, but to each their own. Number 5 is gonna be Fahrenheit Aqua. Not only is this an amazing rainy day fragrance, but for the summertime, if you're a working class man or woman, probably a man, what better smell is there than fresh gasoline? Very manly, but still fresh and uplifting. So it's a great combination and a fantastic candidate for the summer months. It is harder to find. It's virtually impossible to get in brick and mortar stores, but you can check out online and gray market websites like Fragrance Buy, which is one of my favorite places to buy fragrances. You can peruse the internet and look around. If you love the Fahrenheit DNA and you see this for a decent price, I would pick it up. Fahrenheit Cologne is another option as well. To me, Fahrenheit Cologne doesn't have as much depth, I would say. It's a little closer to the original Fahrenheit, but just kind of a lighter version of it. The main thing is it's a little more accessible. So give both a try if possible. At number 4, we have Dior Sauvage. Very cool spray.
Oh, hell no.
Now, the reason I went with VCS is pretty much because of the bottle design. Not only does Very Cool Spray have added citrus, which makes it a little more easy to wear, not quite as peppery and sharp, but it's in an aerosol can made of metal. And that's extremely handy if you're out on a job site and you want to freshen up and smell fresh for yourself or your coworker who's, I don't know, holding a traffic sign or something. The nice thing about all Sauvages is you probably won't need to reapply because the performance is so good. But in this case, if you feel the need to, or if you have an extra long day and you want to keep it going, you can bring it with you and you don't have to worry about breaking a glass bottle. It's in a metal container. It's basically the ultimate Axe body spray. It's very handy to have, and not often mentioned because it just seemed, I guess, like a bit of a gimmicky sort of release. Everyone was expecting it to smell way different. It doesn't. It's maybe 10% different than the original, but I'm a huge fan because of that convenience factor. My number 3 blue collar work fragrance, Acqua Di Gio Profumo. Now, I hesitated to put a Senza on this list, even though it's a little more summer appropriate, because I know there's a lot of people that are gonna complain that it's hard to get now. It's not available, which I would argue just take a flight because every duty-free I've been to has Acqua Di Gio Senza. But getting back to Profumo, I still wouldn't call it one of my favorites personally, but I think it just has so much going for it. The Acqua Di Gio DNA that everyone loves, an EDP concentration, excellent longevity that lasts you the entire day, and it just has that added darker quality to it. The incense, really nice patchouli. While a few people will say, oh, it sucks, I hate it, it's an awful fragrance, I would argue that most people would like it. And I think that's an important factor. It's so high on this list because it's one of those no-brainer fragrances that you can get as a gift for any guy, essentially. Number 2 is Bulgari Aqua Amara. I love all the aqua flankers, but Amara kind of has this effect where it's sort of a fun, outdoorsy, blue-collar version of Terre d'Hermès. Not quite as refined, but it's an unusual take on orange. It's not so much a dirty orange feel, which people say Terre d'Hermès smells like. It's more of an orange that was soaked in brine, like a salty sea salt aquatic orange. It is an absolutely incredible performing fresh fragrance as well, and that counts for something. If you like the saltiness, but the orange combination does throw you off, then check out some of the other aqua fragrances by Bulgari. They're all really good, to be honest. At long last, it is time for my number 1 fragrance for this list. Summer work colognes for people that don't work in an office. That blue-collar life. If you're part of the grassroots, nitty-gritty fragrance community, and you know a lot about fragrances, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. It's not a designer, arguably not a niche fragrance either, but what's amazing is it has this fresh, fruity quality that stays with you all day. An eau de parfum concentration comes from Dubai, and while a lot of people say it smells like Invictus Aqua, I think it's more of an individual Aqua. You're going for that fresh, sweet DNA, you don't gotta worry about reformulations anymore. Just get this one, guys. My number 1 fragrance on this list has to be Hawas for Him by Versace. Not only is this an incredible fragrance, everyone, the price is incredible too. You can find it on Fragrance Buy for a very reasonable price. It is thoroughly good. If you happen to like being outdoors and you want to know some great outdoor fragrances, you can check out my top 11 hiking fragrances video. It's just my opinion though, right? So